There's plenty of operators that are considered really good within Rainbow Six Siege. However, most of them come and go as the meta changes or if the operator just flat out gets nerfed. But there is one operator that no matter what the meta is in Rainbow Six Siege, and no matter how many times they get nerfed, they'll always be good, and most importantly, they'll always be needed. That operator is Smoke. Now yes, there are a few more operators that also will always be good and always be needed no matter what, like Jaeger, Cade, Mute, etc. Nevertheless, Smoke is the best at what he does. He is by far the best area denial operator there is. While someone like Jaeger can be substituted for Wamai, or Cade can be substituted for Bandit, Smoke has no substitute. Some may say Tachanka or Goyo is a substitute for Smoke, but honestly I don't think they come close to him. That's because Smoke is extremely unique and he's simply unmatchable. So how do you play as Smoke and how do you use him to his fullest potential? Well, Smoke is a very versatile operator. There's really no one way of playing him. He can be good just by simply sitting on the bomb site or even be good on a roam. Really, as a Smoke player, you're going to want to play where you're needed the most. Sometimes that'll be in a power position on the bomb site, other times that'll be in a power position off the site, like a popular staircase that people like to push. Your job as Smoke is to deny as much time as possible, so wherever you're able to do that is a good place for Smoke to be. You also have another really important job as well. If you're playing Smoke, then you're 100% going to want to be running the pump shotgun and the SMG-11. This is because you'll use the pump shotgun to create rotates, head holes, feet holes, vertical holes, etc. that the bomb site needs. Then you'll use your SMG-11 as your primary to fight at medium to long ranges. Notice how I said medium to long ranges, because at close ranges, that's where you could pull out your pump shotgun to get an easy one-tap. You almost never want to be using the FMG-9, which is Smoke's SMG, because the pump shotgun is just way too useful to not be using, and you have the SMG-11 as a secondary, which is pretty much a primary weapon. Furthermore, as Smoke, you want to use your smoke canisters wisely. Don't just use them all up right away. Instead, try to use one at a time to stall more of the enemy's time. For example, let's say you're playing on the basement bomb site on Oregon. A popular spot that the attackers like to push is the bunker. So to stop the enemies from just pushing right in, you want to play in what is called elbow. Typically, you'll have a shield set up with ADSs to protect the shield, and then you'll be playing behind the shield as Smoke to stall as much time as possible. When the attackers start to push in, you'll toss a smoke canister and activate it, then wait until the smoke clears to use another one. This way you're wasting as much time as possible with smoke. Additionally, you could use your smoke canisters to deny the plant as well. If you have saved your smokes until the final few seconds of the round, you're able to toss the smoke canister next to where the enemy is planting, which will force them to stop planting and move, or else they'll die. This is extremely beneficial as it could win you the round if the attacker is unable to plant. That's a free win, all because of your smoke canisters. To make this more effective, you could put holes around the bomb site to toss your smoke canisters through so you're able to stop the plant from far away. Doing this can assure that not only you stop the plant, but you're safe from the enemy killing you as well. To be able to do this properly, you'll have to learn all the default plant spots and have holes set up next to it so that you're able to throw your smoke canisters through. Likewise, let's say you decide to roam as Smoke. Well, on the roam, you could use your smoke canisters as a getaway once the enemy has gained too much map control or they're just putting too much pressure on you. The smoke canisters can be a great way to stop the enemy from pushing you, so you're able to back up and get to a safer position. If you do this multiple times within the round, you're able to waste a lot of the enemy's time, which should get you the win because the enemies won't have enough time to deal with you, then get to the bomb site and plant. Moreover, now that you know your job as Smoke, what weapons to use, and how to use his smoke canisters, it's time to talk about his utility. Unfortunately, Smoke did lose his shield, so now you're left with barbed wire and proximity alarms. It's okay though, because one of those pieces of utility is still really good, that being the barbed wire. Barbed wire is great for putting on staircases and doorways to slow a push down and force the attackers to either break it and be heard, or walk through it and be heard. Regardless, there's an audio cue for if the attackers break it or walk through it, which gives you information. That information is really important because now you know exactly where the enemy is, which allows you to swing them and get the kill. Barbed wire is a lot more important than most players even realize, and honestly in today's meta, shields are being brought less and barbed wire is being brought a lot more just because people are playing a lot more aggressively. To deal with aggressive players, you want to do everything you can to slow them down. So by placing barbed wire down in the right spot, it can make an attacker have to slow down and reconsider what they want to do, which forces them to either break it and be heard, walk through it and be heard, or just push from somewhere else. If they do choose to break it and you hear it but don't feel confident enough to swing them, that's okay. As smoke, you're able to toss one of your smoke canisters around where the barbed wire is, which forces the attacker to have to back up and rethink what they want to do, which in return wastes more of their time. Furthermore, if you want to be a good smoke player, then you need to know the site setup on every single site on every single map. Since you're making the rotates in the holes on the site, you need to know exactly where they go and why they go there. That means if you want to play a smoke, then you need to be an extremely knowledgeable player. This way you're able to greatly help out your team and allow for the proper site setups, which will greatly increase your chances of winning. Without a good site setup, the defense could easily crumble as the attackers won't feel any pressure on them at all from the site. If there's no holes where they're supposed to be, then the enemy could easily walk in and take the site. On top of that, if there's no rotates at all, then getting between the bomb sites and moving in between power positions will be a lot harder. This will just waste the defender's time and force them into bad positions. So playing as smoke, you need to have the knowledge of site setups to prevent a poor site setup from happening. It's just part of your role as a smoke player. Additionally, as a good smoke player, you have to learn exactly how to control the SMG-11, since that's what you're going to be using most of the time. As I mentioned earlier, your weapons of choice are going to be the pump shotgun and the SMG-11, but what I did not mention is if you never use the SMG-11, then you'll need to do some practicing. The SMG-11 is one of the hardest guns in the game to control because it has an insanely fast fire rate, which gives it some crazy recoil. So you're going to need to learn how to control that recoil in order to use it. Luckily, you have the shooting range in the training grounds as an option, so you can just go into either one of those and practice with the SMG-11 until you have it down. You need to be able to use it at all ranges, so be sure to practice not only using it up close, but from far away as well. Once you're able to control the SMG-11, you'll become not only a better smoke player, but just a better player in general, because if you can control the SMG-11, then you can control any gun in the game. Finally, the last tip I have to not only play a smoke, but be a good smoke player is you have to be confident and adaptable. A good smoke player is extremely important to the team. Usually they end up being the last alive because they don't play for kills or play solely to support the team. A good smoke player will adapt to not only how their team plays, but how the enemy team plays as well to best fit what they need to do. To be able to do some of the things you're required to do, you'll need to be confident in your abilities. Remember that as smoke, your goal is to stall as much of the enemy's time as possible. So no matter where you are or what you're doing, the goal remains the same. That's why a good smoke player is usually the last alive. They're not taking every gunfight or swinging every angle. Instead, they fight when they have to, but for the most part, they use their smoke canisters and barbed wire to deny time and take fights that are within their favor. That means you'll have to be confident in your abilities to clutch as well, because if your team gets cleared out from playing over aggressive when they shouldn't be, then you'll have to clutch up the round so you don't lose. So remember, if you want to be a good smoke player, not only do you have to be extremely knowledgeable, but you have to be confident and adaptable as well. That way you're not only playing smoke the right way, but you're using his versatility to the best of your abilities. In conclusion, Smoke is one of the best operators in Rainbow Six Siege. In my opinion, he has no substitute because of how extremely unique he is. Truly, he's an unmatchable operator that is extremely versatile and is extremely important to the team. If you truly want to not only play Smoke but master him and become a great Smoke player, you must be knowledgeable, confident, and adaptable, as well as you must understand where you're needed the most and what your job is. As Smoke, you have two main jobs. The first is to use your knowledge to set up the bomb site with your shotgun. You'll create the necessary rotates and holes needed for each and every bomb site. Your second job is to stall as much of the enemy's time as possible using your adaptability and confidence. To do your jobs properly, you must know exactly how to use his smoke canisters, what guns to use and how to control them, what utility to bring and how to use it, and most importantly, the skills that are required to use all of them. When you really break him down, Smoke is definitely a hard operator to truly master. Not everyone can play him, and honestly nowadays people are deciding to just use an operator with a good gun with a 1.5 scope on it because it's easier just to try to get kills rather than take on a role as important as Smoke. But I truly think that if you're able to play a Smoke, then you're a good player who knows what they're doing and can definitely hold their own. Your job isn't easy, but it's extremely valuable and is honestly more important than most people even realize. That's it for me though. Have you decided you want to play a smoke? If so, then do you think you're up for the challenge of playing him? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and if you want more content like this, then subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.
Ahead of the enemy. 5 minutes to go. 2 kills. Quick 3. Dual kill. You're ahead of the enemy. A quick 2. Keep pushing for objectives. 30 seconds remaining. Time.